Hello dear friends, myself Nitin, and today we will be studying about floods and droughts. Floods and droughts. So I would request you to have a copy and pen with you, because as we used to do, we will study this topic also in a very structured manner. So you can note down important points and important keywords from the examination point of view. So what all things we will be studying in this floods and drought? First thing is, what do we understand by these two terms, that is floods and droughts? First is their meaning. Means what do we understand by the term flood, and what do we mean by the term drought? Second thing is, what are the causes for floods and droughts? Third thing is types of floods and droughts. Fourth thing is issues or problems associated with floods and droughts. And the fifth and the final one is ways to mitigate or reduce the same. Means ways to mitigate the floods and drought, or the effect or impact of floods and droughts. So we will try to cover these 5 major points about these two topics, floods and droughts. I would request you to note it down, and we will start one by one. We will start with definition of flood and droughts. Now, both these terms, floods and drought, means these are negative terms, and which are due to water imbalance at a particular place. Now, you can write it. Both these terms are negative results of water imbalance at a place. Now, actually, what happens when the amount of water at a place exceeds the amount that is required at a place, then that is referred to as floods. On the other side, when the amount of water at a place it is much below than the required amount, then it leads to drought. So you can write the definition for both these floods and drought. While flood refers to water amount exceeding than required quantity. Drought refers to decrease in amount of water required at a place. So these are this is the definition for floods and droughts. Means both these two terms are a result of water imbalance at a place, while floods result due to increase in the water than required than the required quantity at a particular place. A drought refers to decrease in the amount of water than required quantity at a particular place. Now we will see that what are the this was our first topic in this under this main heading, floods and drought. Our next topic is what are the reasons. So we will initially study the reasons for floods. The first major reason for flood is river discharge. Now this river discharge, it is given by a formula: cross sectional area into mean velocity of the river. So what do you mean by this term river discharge? River discharge means the amount of water flowing through the river channel in cubic meters. So if this is the river, then this is the channel through which the river is flowing. The amount of water or the volume of water flowing through this river, it is known as river discharge. When this term river discharge is given by this formula: cross sectional area into mean velocity of the river. The cross sectional area here refers to this area, and the velocity here refers to the velocity of this river. So what happens that through this formula it is clear that if by any means the mean velocity of the river increases or the cross sectional area of the river increases, the river discharge will increase. What does it mean? It means the amount of water flowing or the volume of water flowing through this river will increase, either due to increase in cross sectional area or either due to increase in mean velocity of the river. So what happens that during rainy season, this river is accompanied by its several tributaries, means left bank tributaries and sometimes even right bank tributaries. So what happens that during rainy season, the amount of water in this main river gets increased. Why? Because the amount of water which is coming through its tributaries, the water coming through the tributaries used to get increased during the rainy season, and due to that, what happens, the mean velocity of the river, the mean velocity of this river, that used to increase, and due to increase in this mean velocity of the river discharge increases. What happens when this river discharge increases? The water flowing through this channel used to run out and gets spread in this floodplain areas, causing floods. So this is the first reason for floods, that is river discharge. The second reason is siltation. Now, what do you mean by this term siltation? Siltation refers to deposition of silts or sediments on the riverbed. And what do you mean by riverbed? Riverbed means the area or the plain over which the river is flowing. So, just consider that this is the channel, and this portion is the river bed, means the surface over which river is flowing. Now what happens that when the river it comes from the mountain, it used to bring along with it too many sediments, rocks, boulders, muds, silt, sand, etc. When the river means used to deposit this sand and silt along its path, this means what it used to do is it means it used to increase the height of the river bed. Now what happened due to deposition of these silts or boulders on the river bed, the amount of water which is flowing through the river, that remaining same, the water means it gets less space to flow. Then what happens, this water tries to run out of its main channel along the floodplains and causing floods. So remember this. What is siltation? Siltation means deposition of silts, sands and boulders over the river bed, causing outflow of rivers. So this is how siltation used to cause floods. So our third reason for floods is excessive rain, excessive precipitation or excessive rain. Now see, means the first and the second means excessive siltation and river discharge, increasing the volume of river discharge. Those two types of flood generally we used to see in the cities which are near to river banks. That may be Patna, Varanasi, Prayagraj and many other cities which are near to river banks. Now this type of means this third type of flood which is due to excessive precipitation, this generally we used to see in the urban areas, irrespective whether they are near the river banks or not. What happened that when the amount of water within an hour that means that used to increase, or that used to means be over than what generally used to happen, then that is known as excessive precipitation at a particular place, and that leads to floods. For example, at a place generally we used to have 20 to 40 centimeter of rainfall, but due to excessive precipitation, if this rainfall increases to 100 centimeters, then that means the capacity of that particular place to accommodate this amount of rainfall is not there. So this leads to floods, or the means the accumulation of rainwater there and resulting in floods. So third point is excessive precipitation. This used to be in the urban areas, and due to sudden and more than normal rainfall at a place. So you can write under this excessive precipitation, third point. It generally used to happen in urban areas. And why it used to happen? Due to sudden and more than normal rainfall at that place. After excessive precipitation, fourth reason for floods is tsunami. Now what is this tsunami? Tsunami basically refers to means underwater earthquake, means generally earthquake which used to take place beneath the ocean bed. Then what happened that earthquake leads to increase in the size of the waves, means waves of the ocean. The waves of ocean which generally used to very small in size, due to earthquake in the ocean bed, these wave size increases, and when these this ocean water in the form of these long amplitude waves, when these waves reaches the coastal areas, it deposits lot amount of water in the coastal region, causing floods there. Okay, so fourth point is tsunami. Tsunami, you can write it down. Tsunami is an underwater earthquake which leads to increase in the size of the ocean waves, and these ocean waves, when they reach the coastal areas, they deposit large amount of water there, causing floods in the coastal areas. Fifth reason for floods is coastal cyclones. Now, what are cyclones? Now, these cyclones are rotating air column or rotating column of air mass over the water having a low pressure center. So, you can write down rotating air mass over ocean water having a low pressure center. Now these cyclones also have tendency to move. Means when these are tropical cyclones, they generally move from east to west, and when these are temperate cyclones, when these are tropical ones, they move from east to west, and when these are temperate cyclones, they move from west to east. So these cyclones, while they are moving, they are having a lot amount of water along with them, and when these used to reach the coastal areas, they used to deposit the water there and causing floods in coastal regions. So our fifth point was coastal floods. Sixth one is ice dam break. Now, what is this ice dam? Generally, what happens in the mountainous regions or in the glacial regions, we have several means ice dams. Means ice dam here refers to a huge amount of ice which used to block a large amount of water behind it. Okay, when these means during summers or due to any other reason, when these ice breaks, the water means which is stored behind these ice dam, they used to rush out suddenly and rush out with huge flow, and that used to cause flash flood. So for this ice dam, you can write down that these are very common in hilly regions such as Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. Ice dam break. Our seventh reason for floods is glacial lake outburst flood, or GLOF floods. Now, what is glacial lake outburst floods? I mean, first is what is glacial lake? Glacial lakes are those created by the movement of glaciers. What happens that in the hilly areas, due to movement of glaciers, a depression used to create in those areas. Now, this depression means now this depression then used to get filled with the glacial water, and this water used to get freezed. Now what happened that during summers or due to any other reason, when this water, this frozen water gets melted, then it starts moving out, and it starts moving out suddenly with huge amount of force, and then this used to again cause flash floods. So you people might be understanding that why means frequently we used to see that news that Uttarakhand region has been suffering from this flash floods, mainly due to this glacial lake outburst flood and breaking of the ice dams. These are the two reasons why we used to see frequent floods in Uttarakhand region. And of course, the third reason is the cloud burst. This is also one of the reasons why we used to see floods in the Uttarakhand and Himachal region. Burst actually refers to sudden huge amount of rainfall within 24 hours or within 1 hour of 1 hour, say 100 centimeter of rainfall within 1 hour. Then this refers to cloud burst. So this is also another reason for floods in the hilly regions. So this was the seventh, and our last reason for flood is volcanic eruption. Now what happened that due to volcanic eruption, especially in those regions which are generally surrounded by the ice year long, if volcanic eruptions happen in those places, then due to heat of the volcanic eruption, the ice near that region used to melt, and the sudden melting of those means that ice results into floods. Melting of ice results into floods. This is due to volcanic eruption. So I hope you have noted down all the 8 keywords or all the 8 reasons for the floods. So our next topic is this. Third one is types of flood. Now there are two types of floods mainly. First one is flash flood, and second one is slow onset flood. So note it down. There are mainly two types of floods: flash flood and slow onset flood. Now, what is flash flood? This generally refers to increase in the amount of water or increase in the accumulation of water over a short interval of time, say 2 to 6 hours. Okay. While and this is mainly due to excessive precipitation. This is mainly due to excessive precipitation, ice dam breakage, ice dam break, okay, glacial lake outburst floods, or cloud burst. These are the main reasons for this flash floods, means sudden increase within say 2 to 6 hours, increase in the amount of water at a particular place. And next one is slow onset flood. This generally used to happen due to increase in volume of water through rivers or streams, or due to longer period of continuous rainfall. So you can note it down. This slow onset flood is generally due to increase in the volume of the river or the streams, and this is mainly due to longer period of continuous rainfalls. Okay. While this flash flood is generally sudden increase in the amount of water at a place, say within 2 to 6 hours, and this generally result due to break in the ice dam, glacial lake outburst floods, cloud burst, or due to excessive precipitation. So these are the two types of floods. Our fourth point under this topic is what are the issues or problems associated with floods. So these issues or these problems can be categorized into three types. Say environment loss or environmental issues, economic issues, and third, social issues. Now, what are economic issues means which are related with floods? Economic issues generally refers to means floods. What happens? It used to damage the roads, railways, buildings, poles. Okay, then schools, hospitals means all those areas, all those buildings means present in cities due to floods. They used to get damaged, causing economic loss to government as well as society. Next is environmental loss. How it causes environmental loss? Due to floods, we know that a large amount of vegetation, plants, and forests used to get destroyed. Along with this vegetation, it creates huge loss to wildlife. Many animals used to die due to floods. So that is the environmental loss. Again, due to floods, we know that the groundwater used to get polluted, okay, or the supply water used to get polluted, then that again results in the environmental issue. And what is this third one? Social issues. We know that due to floods in particular regions, people have to leave those means their native place and used to migrate to some other place in search of better living condition or in search of new jobs. So what happened that means this results in migration, job losses, okay. Then also it result to reduction in the agricultural production. Then due to reduction in the agricultural production, their means annual income used to decrease, and then that results in again into food security or poverty issues. So I hope you have noted down the three main issues: economic issues, environment issues, and social issues. Environmental issues, loss to flora and fauna, and economic issues, damage to infrastructure. So these are the issues or problems associated with floods. And finally, we will come to our sixth and the final topic under floods, that is what are the ways to mitigate the same. Sixth one is ways to mitigate the floods or impact of floods. What are the ways to mitigate the floods or the impact of flood? So first one is dredging. Now what do you mean by dredging? Dredging actually means taking out the sand, silt, or the boulders which are deposited in the path of the river, so that we can increase the volume of the channel, so that the amount of water which is flowing through the channel can increase, and the amount means that water which used to earlier run out of the channel, that should be flowing within the channel. So dredging, the first way to mitigate the flood is dredging, okay. Taking out silt, sand, and boulders from riverbed to increase the volume of river flow through channel. So dredging used to increase the volume of water through river channel, thereby avoiding outflow or outflow of the water through channel. After this dredging, next way to reduce the flood is flood plains management. Now, what is floodplain management? Means the you know that along on the side of this river, the area this area is known as floodplains. Means this floodplain area is generally encroached by several people. Means if we manage this floodplains area and we try to avoid any encroachment in this floodplains area, so this if means this floodplains area can help us to mitigate the floods. Means this floodplains area will try to ensure that the means water remains till here itself and doesn't go out of this region. Our third way to mitigate the flood is reservoirs and embankments. Now, you might have seen that along this river we used to have an elongated path along the rivers, and this path is known as embankments. Embankments generally used to be built along the rivers in order to avoid the outflow of river water. In order to avoid this outflow of river water, we generally used to see embankments. Okay, and reservoir is again means storing the river water to reduce or manage the quantity or the volume of water flowing through rivers. That is known as reservoirs. So, for example, if the amount of water means amount of if we want to reduce the amount of water or the volume of water flowing through the river, then we can close the dams, okay, and try to store maximum water behind the dams. And for example, if we want to increase the water through the river, then we can open the gates of the dam to increase the amount of river water. So this is third way how we used to manage the means floods in an area. So with this we end with floods. Now we will study all these things again about droughts. Means those 5 points which we have discussed in the starting of this video. We will study all those things about droughts. Means type of drought, types of drought, reasons for drought, okay, impact or issues related to same, and ways to mitigate the drought. So note it down. Now we will start with droughts. We will continue with our next topic, that is drought. Drought. Now we have already studied that what is drought. Drought means to water deficient condition, means when the amount of water that is required at a place it is, and when the amount of water which is means which a place has received during the rainy season, or the amount of water which a place has is much less than the amount of water needed at that place, then that refers to drought or drought like conditions. Now what are different types of drought? types of drought. So you can note down there are mainly three types. 1, 2, and 3. First one is agricultural drought. Agricultural drought. Second is hydrological drought. And third one is meteorological drought. Remember these three types of drought: agricultural drought, hydrological drought, and meteorological drought. Now, what is agricultural drought? This mainly refers to decrease in the soil moisture content. Now, when the soil moisture content decreases, the land gets converted into barren land, and this then leads to agricultural drought-like situation. Okay. Next is hydrological drought. Hydrological drought refers to decrease in the water level of reservoirs or rivers. Now, due to this decrease in the water level of reservoirs or river, the irrigation facilities or the irrigation level decreases, and then that again results into decrease means a drought like conditions. Okay. Third one is meteorological drought. This refers to low amount of rainfall. If in any season the amount of rainfall at a place it is much less than the usual condition, then under that condition it refers to meteorological drought at that place. So these are three types of droughts: agricultural, hydrological, and meteorological, and these are the meaning of these droughts. Okay. After these types of drought, we will come to impact. Impact or issues related to drought. Now again there will be three types of issues. First one is economic. Issues. Second will be environmental issues. And third one will be social issues. Now, what are economic issues? Now, due to drought-like condition, the agricultural production will reduce, and due to reduction in agricultural production, agricultural income will reduce. And if agricultural income will reduce, this will again result into food security and poverty like condition in country. And we know that still we have almost 70% of the population of India living in the rural areas. So droughts may result into severe economic issues. Now second is the environmental issues. Now what is environmental issues here? Now due to this drought, this may lead to desertification of the land. That means the land which was earlier fit for agriculture, now it will get converted into a desertified land. Okay, and it will become barren or unfit for agriculture. Besides this, it will also lead to loss of flora and fauna dependent on agriculture. So due to this drought like condition, several animals, okay, and as well as vegetation or small that will means which were dependent on this agricultural uh, produce, they may suffer losses. And the final one is social issues. Of course, mean due to drought like condition, people will again have to migrate from one place to another in order to search for new jobs. Okay, then this will, since it will reduce their income, this will again leads to several other problems like congestion in cities and burden on government. Now, since government will only have to look after those people in drought like conditions, so it will put an additional burden on government. Okay, and since means people suffering from drought means that the agricultural area, they will have to move to cities for some other work other than agriculture, then that will lead to congestion in cities, means increase in the population of the cities. So that is another problem, or that will come under social issues. So I hope you have people have noted it down, the impact or issues related to drought: economic, environmental and social issues. And finally, we come to an end of this topic: ways to mitigate drought. How to overcome this problem of drought, or how we can mitigate the chances for drought. First one is recharge of aquifers. Now what are aquifers? Aquifers are means rocks or sediments below the means within this earth crust, rocks or sediments within this earth crust, which used to hold the water as groundwater. Okay, now recharge of aquifers means to ensure that proper movement of surface water within the earth crust, means natural movement of surface water within the earth crust, so that the aquifers get recharged naturally and the groundwater used to be maintained. And this generally can be done during rainy season. Okay, rainy season. So first way is to recharge of aquifers. Second way is rainwater harvesting. Now what is this rainwater harvesting? Rainwater harvesting means to collect the rainwater during rainy season and store that rainwater properly, so as to use that rainwater in other means agricultural practices or gardening or washing, cleaning or many other activities. Okay, so rainwater means storing rainwater for various usage such as cleaning, gardening and irrigation, etc. You can write down. Second one is rainwater harvesting, storing the rainwater for various uses such as cleaning, gardening, irrigation and etc. After this rainwater harvesting, third one is desalination. Now desalination means removing of the salt from the ocean water and making that water fit for usage, means drinking and different other purposes. Removal of salt from ocean water to make it fit for usage. Okay, so this is the third way, desalination. desalination of ocean water. So, and the fourth and the last one is drip irrigation. Now, what is this drip irrigation? Drip irrigation means use of sprinklers to put water directly into the roots of the plants to avoid water means split or avoid waterlogging in the agricultural area and reduce the amount of water that is used in irrigation. We use this drip irrigation method. Okay, this drip irrigation means ensuring adequate amount of water to crops through sprinklers. Means drip irrigation means ensuring adequate amount of water to crop through sprinklers. Okay, by sprinklers putting water into the roots of the plants. Means water is put directly into the roots of the plants and water logging is avoided in the agricultural field. Okay, with the help of sprinklers, and this drip irrigation is used to reduce the water required in irrigation activities. So these are 4 methods which you can note it down in order to, these are generally used nowadays to avoid the droughts. With this we come to end of this topic. I hope you people might have noted down each and every important keyword from this topic. In our next video we will study some other topic. Thank you.